Alright, Shalom, giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Bashim, and Kwakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that told me this truth that rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered through the four corners of the earth. My name is Kodash Payah. Real swiftly, this is, news that I've been hearing. Clips from certain media outlets, videos, podcasts, and even articles, as you can see here, with, Trump basically cutting ties with Netanyahu over manipulation concerns, reports, right? Israel-U.S. retaliations, strain over war. And, we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars, as Yahweh Shai spoke about. You got bombs of missiles from India attacking Pakistan. China taking the Indian aircrafts down. But basically, it's escalating, and we know World War III ain't gonna come until that mark comes, pursuant to Revelation 13:16. But it's prophetic, because both of these guys are prideful, right? And the scriptures speak about pride coming before a fall, right? But nevertheless, you keep hearing about conflict with Babylon's allies, having these conflicted behaviors and relationships in these times, especially with the European countries and so on and so forth. Matter of fact, let's get a precept real quick. This is what Yahweh Shai said about that. Because that's going to lead to the toes of Daniel. Basically, iron, partly clay, which is the weakest part. But this is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And they're talking about Netanyahu want to basically attack Iran without Trump's permission or whatever. We'll see how this goes. These are all talks, these are all rumors, but nonetheless, it's prophecy. So let's play this clip real fast that I want to get over here. Slakia
has just canceled his upcoming trip to Israel as the U.S.-Israeli ties are breaking apart. Yesterday it was announced that Trump and Netanyahu have cut all contact, and the fallout is continuing today. It all started 2 weeks ago when an Israeli war plan leaked showing they were ready to strike Iran without President Trump's permission. That's whenever Trump fired back and said that we will not be dragged into a war. It's escalated the past week whenever National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was caught using an Israeli Signal group chat to send sensitive information directly to Netanyahu, which, number one, is treason, and number two, he should have been fired, but he was instead just demoted. And the breaking point for Israel was yesterday when the U.S. was normalizing relations with Saudi Arabia, and Israel wanted a cut of the deal. This is whenever Trump said he was disappointed in Netanyahu, and we will no longer take Israel's interests whenever we are negotiating in the Middle East. Israel then released their first statement yesterday in regards to this, saying that we will defend ourselves alone. Things are heating up between Trump and Netanyahu, so make sure to follow me for updates because it is going to get wild. Pete Hegseth has just canceled his
Alright, so let's get another preset. Boom. In the book of Jeremiah, if it were to upload. These apps, man, I'm telling you. Okay. Salakia. Let's just do it like this. All right. Boom. Book of Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45. It says, Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purpose, his purposes, that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely, it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, going into basically Israel, right? Gonna draw them out, gonna draw the rest of the world to hit that breaking point of war. You know, and it's referring to as what? America, Babylon, the Great Babylon. You know? But it says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. See? So, hey man, there's definitely, that's why the Lord said watch and pray. To understand, you know, where things are escalating, you know? Because, hey, even when it says, speaking about Russia being a guard unto the other nations, you know? Having forget what they call, one of the African nations, you know? Taking away, you know, their allies, I believe, with Russia, but removing the French military at their land. So, the world, these other nations are, they're seeing what's going on, you know? You know what? Let's go to, might as well get it. Jeremiah 3 and 9, straight to the point. Jeremiah 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong. So showing that, you know, because you just had military exercises going on and they're preparing war. You know, we're not in a time of peace and flourishing and gardening and, you know, we got 10 years now, 20 years. Like this fucking guy Nate talking about we're going to be here for another 20, 30 years. That's, that's insane. You know, when you got money and you got the bag and you dealing, hey, you want to stay here, right? No, that's BS, man. Lord speeding up the times for the elect's sake, you know? And what? The final prophecies is coming. Revelation. You know, we're seeing it. Technology, the collapse of society, which is going to result to that, you know, hey, the mark of the beast, man, all right? Say how it is, you know? And that's happening quicker than, you know, than we, you know, like what scriptures say, our salvation is nearer than we believe, you know? So, anyway, I just wanted to bring this out real quick. Cause yeah, it says beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So they, you know, gathering up their gardening tools, turning them into weapons. You know, going from peace to war. You know, scriptures speak about it even in 2nd Esdras 13, verse 31. One city against another, one country against another, one realm against another, one people against another. You know? Hey, the scriptures say the Lord is a man of war. You know? Because what comes after war? Peace. That's why we want war to come, so we can have everlasting peace. Right? Scriptures say better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.